I know when you talk about listening in the coaching session that we did together, you talk about listening habits or listening types. And I'd be really curious for you to explain those four primary listening types to us, and how we might gauge which one of those is our dominant sort of listening approach or preference.
Oh, yes, I would be happy to. I love talking about the echo listening profile. It's probably some of the newer listening research. It was published in 2020. And we used to think of listening styles as being more of a trait as opposed to a state. So I always listen for details. That's just who I am. But through this research that was done, what we've recognized is listening is actually a habit. And what that means is we tend to do it the same way subconsciously. And if we never learn there are other ways to do it, we just don't do it a different way. Many of us, particularly people who study communication, but many other people too, figure out that there are different ways to listen in different contexts, like you said, because we not only have to look at the goal of why we're listening, but what we're going to do with that information as well. So the context involves a lot of things. So the context also should determine the listening habit we should use. What the research has found through ECHO is the four dominant listening habits are: first, you can be connective, which means that you take the words that are coming at you and you look for the ones that have to do with the people and the emotions and how the information might impact the people. So that would be a connective listener.
Let me hop in here for just a minute, Laura. Make sure you're getting this, listeners, because I'm going to give you a poll when she's done explaining all four. I'll ask her to summarize them in a word or two once again, but I'm going to ask you to guess based on her description which one of these you are. So connective is one. Now here, listen to the other three and then decide which one you think is your dominant style based on Laura's descriptions. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And the second is reflective. And a reflective listener tries to take in everything and then processes it and compares it to prior experience. Not in a selfish way, but in a way to help. How am I going to add to this conversation? How can I help people understand what worked in the past and what didn't work in the past? And what's interesting is oftentimes people who use that habit don't have eye contact, because that's something that it's not needed to process to figure out the data. So they're almost, the reflective listener's habit is almost like being a computer processor. The third is analytical, and it's exactly as you would sound like. These are the individuals who are really interested in the data, the information, and the credibility that supports that data and information. And then the fourth is conceptual, and another word for conceptual would be the brainstormers of the group. Because what they're doing is they're listening for the big picture or the big idea. They don't care about the details. They're listening for the big idea, and then they're applying it towards the possibility of the future. How could we do it a little bit differently? Who could we partner with? So when you think about our brains as a strainer, we have 4 different strainers in our brains, and depending on which one we activate, and when we get educated in this, it's much easier to activate a different strainer, right? Because we're like, oh, I really should be listening analytically here, and I wasn't before. So again, we've got the connective, who is about the people and the emotions and how the information is going to impact people. We've got the reflective, the internal computer processor, trying to link it to past experience and knowledge. We've got analytical, the details, the information, and the credibility that supports them. And then we've got the conceptual strainer, which is just give me the big idea so I can apply it as possibilities in the future.